Throw over the middle, complete. Stokely over the middle has the ball, and it's right at the sticks, first down.
Without pressure on Peyton Manning, 9 times out of 10 in this game, he's going to find an open receiver.
Cal Trulock, the defensive end, was 20 yards back on pass defense on that play. Another third down conversion on 3rd and 8. James waits for a block and then fights his way to the Kansas City 45-yard line and a gain of about 7. Well, it is a team at the 3 skill positions when you have Manning, who was voted the All-Pro quarterback and co-MVP with McNair of Tennessee. At that position, you got Marvin Harrison. They're just not many better than Marvin. And then you got James running the football.
And factor in Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator, in his 6th year. That unit has been together for 5 years. That's why they're so confident in a hostile environment like Arrowhead. Nothing rattles them.
No false starts. Nothing. No penalties against the Colts. And here comes James. Oh, that's Dominic Rhodes. I was going to say, it looked like he had a little more burst there, and William Barty makes the stop. Another first down. Rhodes, who had over 1,000 yards rushing when James was hurt 2 years ago.
Watch to the left of your screen. Right there, Jeff Saturday, number 63. He gets into Scott Fujita and knocks him. This is a Kansas City defense right now that is completely unsure of itself, completely on its heels. And Dominique Rhodes just finishes it off, but he's the beneficiary of awesome execution by his offensive mates.
Fake to Rhodes. Manning throws. Complete. Reggie Wayne down to the 21-yard line and a gain of 9 more. Monteek Sharp back to make the tackle.
Well, you can see that down the stretch, the Kansas City Chiefs defensively have faltered. Tremendous increases in points per game. The record was only 4-3. The takeaways way down. And right now, this defense, it almost looks like they have to get lucky to stop the Colts.
Rhodes stays in a tailback. Manning down to 2 on the clock. Gets it off. Throws toward the end zone. Almost intercepted by Warfield. He had a shot at it. Harrison the target.
Well, there's a quarterback throwing who's just got a lot of confidence. Because under no circumstances was Marvin Harrison open. Eric Warfield is all over him and actually has a much better play on the football than does Marvin Harrison. Warfield actually has the ball right there. It hits him and bounces right off his chest. Now, he may have been looking right back into the sun. That could have been a real factor on that play.
3rd and 1, and James returns. They're 5 for 6. The Colts on 3rd down conversions. And hit in the backfield. They don't do it this time. Sean Barber, the veteran linebacker, shot through to make the tackle. He beat Tariq Glenn at tackle.
Well, he's actually coming off the edge, and actually Brandon Stokely, the wide receiver, is trying to block down on Barber, but he was split out too wide. They weren't counting, and give Greg Robinson credit. He sent Barber upfield, and he made the play.
And here comes Mike Vanderjagt. 41 consecutive field goals, a new NFL record. This is a considerable distance, just outside 45 yards. Look at this. Plenty of distance right down the middle.
And what a great placement by Hunter Smith on an errant snap.
There's the kickoff by Vanderjagt at Dante Hall. Fans hoping he can break one. He's got some room this time. 35, 40, 44-yard line. Jason Doring made a saving tackle. 9-17 left.
Ball ends up on the ground, but boy, does he do a good job of getting it back, placed, and upright for Mike Vanderjagt.
Green on first down. Goes to this side, wide open. Morton, he dropped another one. It was Morton who dropped a sure first down pass inside the 10 at the end of the first half that proved to be costly because Morton Anderson then missed a field goal.
Boy, mistakes, they are killing us. I'm sure that's what Dick Vermeil is saying right now. And they've been mistakes by his veteran players. Johnny Morton with his drop. Then it's a missed field goal by Morton Anderson, who's older than Methuselah. And then this by Priest Holmes. The effort was there, just an unfortunate turnover.
Here comes Holmes. And he breaks through on the draw all the way to the 30-yard line, a 25-yard run before Thornton and Macklin can get him.
Well, that's one way to make sure that they forget quickly that Morton dropped a pass. Come right back with a 25-yarder, and look at that blocking. Not even challenged until he's downfield, and that by Donald Strickland, and he makes him miss.
Priest Holmes, all he has done in 2.5 quarters is gain 143 yards on just 15 carries. Well, he's not getting it enough, so they go right back to Holmes. Shreds one tackler, runs through another, and he's inside the 25. He's an interesting combination of speed and power, 5'9", so there's not a lot to grab, and he weighs 213. Out of San Antonio, where his high school team state champions, and he played behind Ricky Williams, not well known at the University of Texas. Williams, of course, went on to win the Heisman.
And what a recovery he has made from that hip surgery that made him, that hip injury rather, that made him lose the last 2 games of last season. Pretty spectacular. What do you have, 1,600 yards last year when he got hurt?
14 games. Here he comes. He loves the runner on this right side. Stays in bounds. And now 3 Colts corral him after a first down at the 15. Williams, Washington, and Thornton.
Well, we've talked before about this tremendous offensive line, and 2 guys who really got a job done there was Tony Gonzalez at tight end and Jason Dunn. See, there's Jason Dunn and Gonzalez. They're doing a double team. Gonzalez comes off the double team and buries Mike Doss, the strong safety. So Dunn and Gonzalez get credit there for some good blocks.
Green sets up, dumps it over the middle, complete. And it's Derek Blaylock in for Holmes, and he crashes inside the 5-yard line. Morris and Washington make the stop. Blaylock, good spot player. He's almost the same size, 5'9", 205 as Holmes.
Well, now what's critical for the Chiefs, Dick, they got to close the deal. They've been down here before and have settled for field goals or field goal attempts that were missed. They have to finish the deal.
Well, here's a man who's done it 27 times this year, Priest Holmes. He gets the handoff. Not much of a hole. It closes in a hurry. Donald Strickland along with Chad Bratsky, the defensive end.
You know, I know this sounds silly, but you look at that clock running, and if Kansas City, the clock running isn't all that bad a thing, because at least they're keeping Peyton Manning and the offense off the field. If they're going to score touchdowns, at least do it on some drives that take up a little time, because they're going to be right back in this thing 24-17 if they can get it across the goal line.
Second and goal. Holmes up the middle. Trick gets to the goal line, but not in. He's marked at the half-yard line. Corey Bird, an extra defensive back, coming up from a safety spot to help out Larry Triplett.
Well, it looked like that Holmes would have been in easily if he doesn't trip. He stumbles. It looked like he tripped over the legs of Willie Roaf.
162 yards. Kansas City rushing record in the playoffs. Barry Ward had 130 against the Raiders in 91. Third and goal. Holmes